I'm Richard and welcome to ZP Productions, and today we'll be talking about my audio journey. Through the years I have played with many audio equipment, and the reason why am I starting such a YouTube video itself is because somebody actually spotted this headphone here. Now this is the Abyss 1266. It is a very legendary headphone. If you follow Headphone, by the way, that is a forum, you can go and search online. The Abyss 1266 is a legendary headphone. It is a very high-end headphone. It costs the same price as the EOS R5, and after 3 to 4 years of using it, I still think that it sounds one of the best you can get and put it on your head. It just looks damn weird, and if you put it on the head, it is the most uncomfortable thing ever. I have no idea why somebody designed it like that, but it sounds fantastic either ways. Now, somebody spotting it inspired me to do a review. In fact, he asked me for my opinions, and I thought that I should really share my opinions on the audio devices I have. So the audio journey I have is actually longer than my video journey and my photo journey, because the first headphone I own, which is the SR60, you can see in this photo here, is actually older than the 300D. In fact, I got the headphone about 1 to 2 years before I bought my first camera itself. The thing is, audio equipment is kind of like a rabbit hole that has no end. You just enjoy it, spend more money, enjoy it, spend more money. In fact, over the years, I kind of buy a lot of headphones. In fact, the amount of money I spend on audio equipment is probably around the same as my photographic equipment itself. And the worst part is audio equipment devaluates to a certain extent and stops there, but it devaluates a huge amount. It's hard to resell in any way. Now, the thing about audio equipment is that audio equipment is very subjective in nature. This is because everybody hears it differently. And the only way to really talk about audio equipment is that you must have experience knowing what is good and what is bad. That's the reason why I created this video, because in the future when I do audio review, I don't want to repeat myself and talk about my history, because knowing what is good and what is bad is very important to do a review. If not, what's your basis of saying something is great? That's because audio equipment, as I said, everybody hears things differently. There are some things that are very basic, such as clarity, bass response, treble, vocal. Is it a forward voicing or is it a backward voicing? The width of the sound itself, how nice and airy the sound is, how fast the sound is. All these things are part and parcel of audio equipment, but they require experience and hearing the best to know that, oh yes, this headphone is like this because of this kind of technology they use, and as such, this headphone is better than this headphone itself. Something along the line is very confusing if you ask me. If you go to Headphone itself, you can find my account is Tassada, Tassardar. By the way, that is a hero name in StarCraft with additional R inside. My account has been there for many years. I've done a lot of reviews for many equipment. It's just that then YouTube was not that popular, so I wrote my reviews down in word form. Maybe I'll revive some of them one day. That being said, on my table here has a lot of audio equipment, and I will talk about some of them now. This is the Boss Revolve Plus. In fact, I want to do a review of this, but when I was doing my video for the review of the Boss Revolve Plus, I noticed I have to explain my history in audio equipment. If not, nobody will believe what I say about the sound quality of this speaker here, and some people will say just because it's Boss, it sounds good. No, Boss sounds good because they made it sound good. But that being said, I heard many other headphones and speakers before, and I can tell you that this thing sounds pretty decent. Now, there is of course some other high-end devices on my table, such as the KSE1500. This is probably, to me, the best earphone. I have not heard anything the last 1 year, so maybe I'm wrong. But the year before, which means before 2019, this is the best earphone I ever listened, and I still appreciate it because the speed, the clarity, the neutrality is something that I love, and I really love this in this particular earphone. By the way, this is electrostatic. If you do not know what is that, it just uses a lot of power, a high voltage going into the earphone to create sound. Unlike your normal earphones themselves, which create sound by using power, this thing creates sound using high voltage. That's the difference between this device. Now, this is a top-notch device, and it is very big, it's very bulky. It can be connected to an iPhone directly, and it sounds phenomenal. So, some other thing I have is also, of course, this is the HD800s. This is a legendary headphone. It has been in the market for a long time. Sennheiser produced it constantly, and in fact I think they revamped the design recently. This thing sounds fantastic, and I highly recommend you to buy this when it's on offer. If you want a very good headphone, the HD650, I got it at about 300 over Sing dollars, about that you can compare to about 250 USD. This is a steal when it's that price because it sounds fantastic, and if you are looking for a high-end headphone, don't want to spend so much money, the HD650 is the way to go. Now, there are some other devices that are not on this table. Wait, before that, I have a music player here. This is a ZX1. It is a very old player, but it is one of the first high-end player from Sony. Sony have come out a few other high-end players since then. This is the first high-end player that Sony came out with. It sounds fantastic and it sounds really smooth till today. It has some special mechanism inside that makes it sound great. Some people don't like it though, and there's an arguable fact whether this is a great thing or not. Now, there are some other devices not on the table here, and that is such as my DAC. I have a Hugo TT. A Hugo TT is, by the way, from Chord. You can go and search for Chord, C-H-O-R-D, Hugo TT. And that is a very high-end piece of equipment that converts digital signal to audio signal that can be listened through headphones and speakers. Now, the Chord Hugo TT is very special because it is a desktop device, and Chord makes very good converters themselves. So the Hugo TT, you can think of it as an upsized device to run headphones and earphones more. I would say it's better than the portable ones. So I have some other headphones. I have also, of course, the big brother of this 650. I have the HD800s. That thing is very nice sounding. You can imagine wearing that. It is soft, it is comfy, and it sounds like a hall. Really, it sounds like a hall on your head. It's fantastic of a device itself. Now, there is some other devices that is not with me today, and it's not even within my house here. It's in my parents' place, such as the ESW10 from AudioTechnica, and of course, the RS1. The Grado headphones have been with me for a long, long time. In fact, the oldest headphone I have on hand is a Grado. Now, I have used some other headphones in my lifetime. The Hi-Fi Mans, I think the 500 Hi-Fi Mans, I used it before. My Hi-Fi Man broke and the driver spoiled, so I didn't want to replace it. It's a cumbersome thing to do. And also, over time, I use many other headphones, such as the AudioTechnica. I used before the AD700. I think it's AD700 or A700. A700 and the A2000, I think. Or is it AD2000? I'm not too sure. But all these are very different headphones. I like the AudioTechnicas because they're very comfy. But I don't like their sound. They have a little bit of metallic sound within their signature itself. Metallic is like, I don't know how do I explain, but it sounds like speaking into a piece of metal block, and that's how it sounds like from some of the AudioTechnica headphones. Some people love it, some people don't, so it's a very debatable affair. Now, overall, as you can see, my journey with audio equipment has been really long, and I have tried anywhere from really low stuff like the SR60 all the way to very high stuff such as the Abyss 1266 here. But in the future, I'll be doing some of the reviews of this audio equipment, and I hope you enjoy it and trust what I say, because that's the only way I can describe for audio equipment. I can tell you that audio equipment is something that I cannot record with a mic, because some of this audio equipment is more expensive than a mic. And the funny part is that if I was to record it, you probably firstly cannot tell the difference, and secondly, your playback device probably can't hear the difference either. So the best way to test all this audio equipment is to go down to a store and listen it yourself, enjoy the music with some high-end devices and some low-end devices to really know what is good and what is bad. Now, if you ask me, cameras and audio equipment, I think audio equipment is a steeper slope. Yes, the audio equipment is a steeper slope because the difference between a high-end audio equipment and a low-end audio equipment is nearer than what photography equipment is. I'll say as there is a huge difference between full frame and most of the APS-C camera. It is a noticeable difference. But for audio equipment wise, a difference between a $1,000 headphone and a $5,000 headphone is way smaller. It is the same as comparing a A7C versus maybe a A7R kind of comparison. Or wrong, that's still relatively far. A A7C versus, let's say, a Sony ZX II. That kind of comparison, if you ask me, is so near that there is some difference. There is something better in the ZX II, but is it truly better? Even though it's $5,000, nobody knows. And that's the problem with audio equipment. It is really hard to review, and as such, I don't really like to review audio equipment at first. But since somebody spotted my Abyss, which means somebody is actually interested in it, I thought, hey, why not? I'll do a review on this in the future. And I hope you enjoy this, because I really enjoy my audio equipment as much as my photography equipment itself. Now, that's about it for this video. I think I'm very long-winded. That's because the history with audio equipment has been long with me. And I do hope that you enjoy seeing my future review on audio equipment. I also probably review more mics, because I noticed that people who is watching my mic reviews, people probably love A/B comparisons. I'll probably produce more such videos in the future to allow you guys to also learn something out of it. I hope you enjoy this, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.